Today we're going to walk you through how to install a wrap for the Traxxas Modified. A lot of people ask us, should you apply the wrap with water or soapy water? Most times you don't really need to do that. But with the side panels on these, it definitely wouldn't hurt, especially if you don't have experience. So on this install, we're going to install it with some soapy water. If you use soapy water, fill up a spray bottle with water and literally just one drop of like Dawn dish soap. That's all you need. If you use more, it's going to be way too slippery, slimy, and it won't dry very well. Start with lining up the sides. Take your time. These wraps do have a little bit of oversizing on them to account for a little imperfection on placement, but you do need to be pretty close. The good thing with the soapy water is if you need to pick up and reposition, you can do so without it stretching, just like that. It'll come up nice and easy. If it's starting to dry up on you and you still don't have it in the right spot, apply a little more water. You'll see here, you can push it in from the center, but with the moisture behind the vinyl, it'll stick, but like the edges and stuff, they won't adhere right away. So when you go back and post, when you do your post heating and trimming, you'll heat that down. And by then it should stick pretty well. From here, it's just a matter of working out any creases, bubbles, and making sure everything's locked in around the wheel well, around the bottom skirting. Just little movements, little pull-ups, push that water out nice and smooth. This body does require a decent amount of patience when installing it, but it's not too incredibly challenging. Again, you can pull out the sail panel here after you got your sides locked in. Work it in. If you don't apply water to the sides, peeling it up won't be nearly as easy, and you have a higher risk of stretching the vinyl, which you really just want to try to avoid. Next, we'll jump over to some easy pieces. We're going to wrap the sides of the fenders. Again, all these pieces on this wrap are a little oversized. Not a ton, but it gives you a little bit of room to play with. This is a fairly simple piece. You want to line it up, stick it down. No real need for water or anything on this one. We use air regressed vinyl, so if you end up getting a little bubble here or there, it pushes right out. Next, we're going to jump over to the roof. Again, this is a really easy piece, nice and flat. Just line it up, work from the center out. That's your ticket. So line up the back here. Just like that. Lock in the back. Put the body over here. We'll pull out the front a little bit. Just gentle tugs. And just work from the center out. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Again, the vinyl is air regressed, so if you see any of these little bubbles, they'll just push right out, nice and smooth. No need to get nutty with popping or heat guns. We'll do a little heat gun post at the end. That's all you'll need. Now, honestly, this should have been probably the first part we installed. I don't know why we did it in this order, but these little inlays for the roof rails, the A-post, the air cleaner, the top of the hood, all of those I would probably do first. I think it's just going to be a little easier and it'll give you a little cleaner of a result. These pieces are pretty simple. They're small. You just line them up, lay them in, work them in the grooves kind of nice. Any of the overhang you don't need to worry about because we'll be trimming that at the end. This is another piece that we probably should have just put on first. It's also a piece that's not necessarily needed. If you painted your body a base color and it's the same color as the base, you really don't even need this piece. So if you want to skip it, more power to you, but we'll throw it on anyways. You get a small piece, nice and flat, just line it up, roll it in, work in the crevices, push out any bubbles you have, and voila. This is the hood piece we talked about. Again, these are one of the pieces I would put on first. Pretty much all those blue strips plus the black chunks in front of the doors, I would put all those on first. Now I'll jump over to the left side. It's going to be exactly the same as how we put on the right side. You want to mist the vinyl with that soapy water. Line it up. Once you get a spot where you think you want it, lock it in through the middle and just kind of work your way through. Just tack this up there for now. We'll work through the middle, kind of work our way down, work our way up, relift if you need. We're actually just going to reposition this one. Didn't get it exactly where we wanted. Boom, perfect. Now lock her in. But again, this is fundamentally the same format as we did on the right side, so we'll kind of buzz through this one real quick. This is one of those pieces that we should have added first. Again, not sure why we went this route, but the vinyl's still wet. You can peel it back, kind of insert this inlay, and get back on with your install. Now it's time to install the hood wrap. Gonna kind of eyeball it here. Kind of fit it in where the nose is, kind of centered, and kind of eyeball where it's going to land around the air cleaner, and then I'm going to work it up. So I'm going to work it from the center out, all the way up. I'm going to pick it up here, right back to where the hood and the nose come together. There's a little bend. Nicely work it over the bend. And it'll all kind of fall right into place if you have it lined up right. Go right over the air cleaner, just like that. You want to work out the center point. Now that you have that locked in, you can pick up this corner, reposition, and lay it in. You're going to do the same for the right side. Then we're off to start trimming this thing. Finally, we're in the home stretch. Time to start trimming. Like mentioned earlier, everything has a little bit of an oversize on it, so you want to take a sharp X-Acto knife, find the edge of the Lexan, just kind of guide it across. This part's a little tricky because you got the roll cage in there. Kind of work around that. I'm going to slide off any of the excess vinyl. You don't want dirt or anything getting under there, causing lifting down the road on you. Now, you don't have to do this. I like to do it because it just gives it a little cleaner of a look. But where the overlay is, when vinyl pieces come together, you can kind of see the overlap. So what I like to do is take a sharp knife and kind of just trim it, so not necessarily so it butts up, but it just has a smaller overlay, and it kind of gives it a sharper look in the finished product. You'll see there, that blue kind of overhangs a little slice. Probably should get a sharper X-Acto knife. Boop. Kind of press that back in. This gives it a cleaner, more uniform look for the post-production. Now the air cleaner. You will have a little hangover around the top if you installed it correctly. I'm going to put a couple little slices here and kind of roll it in. Just some relief cuts, helps it form into the curves a little better. And then I'm going to take my knife and just kind of trim right around that hard edge, removing that excess vinyl that looks so messy. Boom. We'll pop that off. Give it a much cleaner look. Just like that. And now for the wheel wells. Again, nice and simple. Sharp knife. Glide it right around the edge of that Lexan. Boom. Nice clean cut. Easy. Do the same around the bottom edges of the vinyl and the corners. Any of that overhang. Do a nice clean cut off. So it'll be nice and sharp. Don't want any overhang on the edges of the body. It will collect dirt, foam, carpet, oil, and you will have problems with the wrap lifting over time. Now it's time for the heat gun. You'll see that moisture has created a couple bubbles from the water install. It's going to heat it. They'll all work right out nice and smooth. You'll have a glossy wrap in no time. See how they're just pushing right out? Nothing crazy. It's just like that, boys. We'll end this video with a little time lapse of us trimming the rest of this body out. Don't forget to visit carpys.com and check out all of the bodies that we make wraps for. We do full-size cars, go-karts, RC of all kinds, including 1RC, low C, Traxxas, GFRP, Custom Works, you name it. If it's an oval car, we probably make wraps for it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email.